Oh, hi there. Well, another growing season is upon us. Now last year I tried to grow Carmela tomatoes, and I built this big monstrosity of a trellis that was actually 2 cattle panels tall over here, and I just had one big long row. Unfortunately, a late frost knocked out my tomato plants for the most part, and I only got a couple out of that harvest last year. This year, I still haven't given up on my dream of having a large harvest, huge, massively bearing tomato plants, but I'm going with a different variety this year. This year I'm going with one that's called mortgage lifter, and it was developed back during the last Great Depression. And these guys are only going to get to be about 7 to 9 foot tall altogether. Sorry about the wind there. These tomatoes are only going to get to be about 7 to 9 foot tall, so I don't need to have the trellis that I had last year at 10 foot. An 8 foot trellis will be just fine. So to do that, I've taken my cattle panel cutters and cut these cattle panels in half to produce 8 foot panels. These are 16 foot cattle panels. Cut them in half to get 8 foot panels. And we're getting ready to replace some of the T-posts here. And then we'll wire them up and be ready to go. Pardon me a moment while I get this little T-post up and out of the ground. There we go. Now I'm putting 6 foot of space in between these 2 rows. It should be enough. There we go. That's just about perfect. Now let's go mark off the other spot, 6 feet away from the first row. Sorry about that. Last year, this row was the row that I had my pole beans set up on. Now that I've got my T-post placed, trick where I, at the far end, suck a T-post 6 feet away, 4 feet in between T-posts, a piece of twine and run it 2-inch piece one end to the other to get a nice straight edge. A PVC pipe. Place my other posts. So spin the camera around. We'll get that done. Put the top of it up there at about 10 foot, and then I ran 8 strands down from each one of those pieces of PVC pipe, so I could run 8 different pole bean plants up the vines. Worked really well. Worked really well. And I grew butternut squash. There's a little bit of the old vine right there at the base of these. But this year, sorry, weeds. This year I want to grow more tomatoes, so I'm doubling up and having a row here and a row here. So So. All right, let's go ahead and connect from this post to that post at the end so I can make a nice straight row. Yeah, I reckon that'll hold it for a minute. Alright, so if you're working the rodeo, you ride up on that steer, you come up on him, you jump down, you grab a hold of him and pull him to the ground. The next thing you do is pull this off of your belt. You grab his hind legs and bring them together. And you got to be quick about this if you're in the rodeo, but if you're just putting fence together, you don't have to be all that quick. But it's flopping around and trying to get away, so the idea is kind of the same. But you have this slip knot here, and the other piece passes through there. Now, in the rodeo, you just put that over the hooves, so I had to pass it through the fence in this case. But the analogy still works. Alright, so I'm holding those legs together, and whenever I tighten this up, see how the slip knot tightens up there? Alright, now in the rodeo, I would just go ahead and bring that strip around, wrap it around the doggy's legs, and tuck it in there, and it would all be nice and tight. But I'm not in the rodeo. I'm putting together a fence with baling twine. So I'm just going to do a couple of half hitches. And that'll hold it good and tight. Right there. That doggy ain't going nowhere. Alright, we are almost done here. Now, by my calculations, if I put one tomato at each one of these middle stakes, right here, one here, one there, one there, one there, one there, enough for 10 on each row, that'll be 20 tomatoes. And then we space in between them a basil and a sweet pepper plant. So I have sweet pepper, tomato, basil, tomato, sweet pepper, so on and so forth. All right, folks. I got one strip left over. Hey, that's all I got for you today. As always, if you found this video informative or entertaining, you know what to do. Oops. I'll catch you next time. Go Team Woodcutter.